morning, CLC family. I hope you're all doing well. I'd like to take some time this morning and take you to 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 7 to 10. So I'll read through the passage, and then following that, I want to give you two thoughts about what Paul is talking about and how we can be challenged and encouraged through today's text. So here we go, 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 7 to 10. So to keep me from being proud, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger from Satan to torment me and keep me from being proud. 3 different times I begged the Lord to take it away. Each time he said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness." So now I'm glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me. That's why I take pleasure in my weaknesses and in the insults, hardships, persecutions, and troubles that I suffer for Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So unintentionally and sometimes unconsciously, we sometimes feel our titles and positions and responsibilities mean that we have to perform in the exact way that is expected of us. And sometimes when we do that, we can actually dehumanize ourselves. And without knowing it, we put an expectation on ourselves and take on expectations of others, and we become someone or something that really genuinely isn't who we are. So throughout the week, we wear different hats, and let me explain what I'm talking about here. So when we go to work, we put on a work hat. When we go home, we put on our home hats, and when we go to church, we put on our church hats or our spiritual hats. So we put on these different characters and we act differently with each one. We tend to cover up our faults and our weaknesses, and we don't let other people see us for who we actually are. We don't let our genuine character and identity be known to others. So today I want to challenge you with 2 things. The first is for us to be vulnerable with each other. Being vulnerable means we are standing totally open as a human being. Not as a pastor, not as a shift worker, not as a leader, not as a follower, just as a human being. This means being real with each other, being open and not trying to be someone or something that we really aren't. This means not hiding our faults, our weaknesses, and our fears, but letting others come around us and to lift us up, support us, and encourage us. The second challenge I want to give today, which is more of a thought than a challenge, is that when we are vulnerable, we are aware of our weaknesses and our faults. And so we have no choice but to lean on God for His guidance and His strength, because we know that we can't actually work out of our weaknesses on our own. So our vulnerability and openness actually draws us closer to God. In the passage that I just read, Paul writes that he gladly boasts about his weaknesses. And he does this so that Christ's power may rest on him and that he may be strengthened with the grace and the power of God. Paul writes that when he is weak, he is strong because the power of God is sufficient for him. God comes in where our helplessness begins. He allows our weaknesses to occur in order for us to be drawn to Him, that we may look to Him and receive His strength. He becomes our strength when we remain in Him and when His Word remains in us, especially in our weakness. So today I want to conclude with a phrase that will help us live a life of openness with each other and to rely on God and to take on His power and strength in our moments of weakness. So here it is. This is what I want to conclude with, and that is winning through weakness. If you have a pen or a paper close by, just write that down and place it in a spot that can just daily remind you of the challenge and encouragement that Paul wrote for us. And so that is winning through weakness.